I just want to say that I do condemn Hasan Piker.
Hasan Piker.
Hasan Piker.
Socialist commentator Hasan Piker.
That Hasan Piker.
Do you have any regrets about appearing on his show?
No.
I mean, it's crazy.
I could think of 1,000 other things I would rather Democrats pick fights about now. Like, why him right now?
Because he's making their life harder.
For the crime of being correct and also hot.
Hello, my name is Ashlee and welcome to my channel. Before we get into it, please like and subscribe and turn on post notifications and join my membership. Today, we're going to be talking about Hasan Piker. We're going to be talking about the centrist Dems who seem to want to go after Hasan. And now it's just not centrist Dems, it's also the never Trump conservatives that seem to be a part of this big tent that the Democrats want, but Hasan is not. So it's interesting how Democrats are always telling leftists and progressives that we need to have a big tent. And we need to include people like Liz Cheney, right? But when it comes to people like Hasan Piker, no, our tent can't be that big. And when it comes to people like Zoran, no, our tent can't be that big until he's like super popular and actually looks good for the Democrats, right? So we're going to talk about that today. It's been just an eruption of stories about Hasan, people talking about Hasan, politicians talking about Hasan. And I think a lot of this started when he went to Cuba. But the thing that solidified it is him doing an event with Abdul Sayed. And he's running in Michigan. He has like Mallory McMorrow as his competition in the primary. And she is one of those Democrats that is frustrating to me because they want to seem progressive. They want to seem like they're fighting Trump, but they're not. And they're really just spoilers. And I feel the same way about Alyssa Slotkin. I think that they are the people that the corporate Democrats want to be popular. I really think that a lot of these corporate Democrats and the corporation of the Democratic Party, people like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, I really think that they don't understand the moment we're in. And I really think that they don't understand just how obsolete their thinking and their policies are. Tim Miller at the Bulwark, that clip has been going viral for the past couple weeks. And I think her name is Sarah Long. And I don't know if she like started the Bulwark or what her position is at the Bulwark. But the Bulwark is like these never Trump Republicans that have kind of come over to the Democratic side. They haven't really changed any of their policies, right? They just want Democrats to adopt their right-wing policies, right, on military, on economics. And so that's what she wants. And so she is sitting here going after Hasan, even though I'm like, bro, you're not like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, party politics, but like, you're not even a Democrat. Like, why are we sitting here? Like, why are we listening to you? Apparently she was like the one who helped them with their message, and was like consulting with their team. And it's like, you lost, man. You lost and you can't come to terms with it. And I don't know if it's like your ego or what is wrong with you, but for some reason, you just can't come to terms with the fact that you lost, right? Your ideology lost. No one wants what you're selling. And now you have to go after Hasan in the craziest ways because you're worried that you're losing relevance, but you've already lost it. Like, you've already lost it. So this is the article that the Bulwark published. And it says Hasan Piker is drawn to political violence, whether it's Hamas rapists, Mangione shooting as a defenseless and innocent healthcare executive, or Putin pursuing his imperialist expansion, sounds awfully familiar. So a lot of the stuff that people have been running with, right, are things that are either you know, everyone's like, oh, it's taken out of context, whatever. Like Hasan says shit, right? I feel like we all say shit, okay? There's things that I say on live that I'm like, oh, that might not have sounded well, or that might not have come off right. And that's something that Tim Miller actually said when he was like debating his boss, I guess. Is she his boss? I don't know. And they were debating, and he was like, okay, well, like, you know, when I go live for a while, like, you know, who's to know what I'm gonna say? Like, sometimes I say something wrong and I don't, you know, and so, and I feel like that's just like normal, right? And I used to care a lot about it when I first started going live, but now I'm just kind of like, whatever. And a lot of it is malicious too. A lot of it's not even, oh, you're taking it out of context. Like the whole like America deserved 9/11 thing. First of all, he's apologized for it. But that's also something that keeps being put back in his face over and over and over again. And it's something that like, I feel like people have come to terms with, and not even like, oh, the people who died deserve it, but because no, of course not. Like I watched a whole documentary about it the other day, unknowingly actually. I was watching a different documentary about something different, and then it started talking about that. And I mean, it's really sad. The people that were there and you know, their families were there. Like it was very traumatic and very sad, and that's not what he was talking about, right? He was talking about blowback, which is when we go over and we bomb people and we coup their countries and we want to take their resources, they end up not liking us very much, right? They end up not liking us very much. Just like Trump killing the Ayatollah and then his son coming into power and then saying, oh, he's much more reasonable. First of all, bullshit. Also, you've killed his whole family. I don't know where you think he's going to be much more reasonable, right? And so this is the kind of mentality. This is like the neocon warhawk mentality. No, we just gotta go and bomb all these people and take advantage and take their stuff and coup them, whatever, for capitalistic means for all these corporations. But it's like, people understand what happened now, right? Everyone says they're against that war now, right? And I think that's a lot of the reason most people are against the Iran war, because I think people saw what we've done and they're like, no, I don't want to do this again. Come on, man. Like, come on. They're using some of these quotes maliciously, even though most people, if you were to explain it to them, they would agree with you. So here's the video of Tim Miller debating Sarah Long. Now, I'm pretty sure that's her name, right? I don't know. I'm just like, I think that's her name. Sarah Longwell. Sarah Longwell. I got it mostly right. Okay, so Sarah Long. Anyway, so Sarah Longwell, I don't know who she is, okay? I don't know who she is. But apparently she's a part of the Bulwark, and apparently she consulted Kamala and she lost. And now she's gonna write a book. She's gonna write a book about elections and building like a community or building like a base. Dude, you lost. You lost. I'm so confused as to how a lot of these people like function every day and how a lot of these people go through their lives, because it's like, dude, you lost and you're just like, you're acting like it didn't happen. And it's so crazy to me. But anyway, so Tim Miller was actually was defending Hasan, because a lot of politicians and news networks are like, oh, do you it's like do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hasan Piker? But it's just so stupid, right? It's just so stupid. And so Tim Miller is over here like, yeah, this is dumb. This is really dumb, and I don't understand why people are doing this, right?
And it's like, what? We're picking this fight with him now? I'm just like, I could think of 1,000 other things I would rather Democrats pick fights about now.
Yes.
Like, why him right now?
Because he's making their life harder.
He is making their life harder because they actually have to do their jobs. They actually have to do their jobs. And the other thing, and I talked about this on my live last week, but the other thing that bothers me is that, like, we're expected, Hasan is expected, all these different people are expected to sit here and, like, not be controversial and say the right things. And, you know, you got to be wary about what you put on the internet. But our president is on the timeline threatening countries, talking about taking over countries, doing all this bullshit. And yet you have a problem with Hasan Piker. how about the president lives up to the standard that you have set, right? The president has also had dinner with an actual Nazi named Nick Fuentes, and nobody gave a shit, right? Everyone's like, oh, well, he didn't know who he was, or what. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is great. First of all, he did know who he was. Second of all, everyone around him are Nazis, okay? Pete Hegseth's a white supremacist, right? Stephen Miller is a Nazi, and they're in his administration, and so it's like, at what point do you realize that, like, no one is living up to the standard that you are setting? You are setting this impossible standard for people that the literal president of the United States is not abiding by, right? And so what the hell? What the hell? Why does everybody else have to be on their P's and Q's? But then the president of the United States can go on the timeline and sit here and threaten every country in the world. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I would like to ask her that, honestly. But yeah, he is making the Democrats' life harder, right? And it's because they choose to fight against him. And it's because he's going to challenge them. And it's not even just Hasan. Like, I love Hasan. I do watch him. But it's not even just Hasan. Like, if you don't like Hasan, whatever, because I have people who watch me who don't like Hasan. If you don't like him, fine, whatever. But the simple fact of it is that Democrats are going to continue to do this, everyone to the left of them, right? And they're going to continue to do this because they cannot take the fact that they're no longer relevant. And also, they want to keep enriching themselves. They want to keep enriching themselves with their stocks. They want to keep enriching themselves with their PAC money. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. They want to keep going on their little book tours and do all this shit. That's what they want to do. They cannot be bothered to be pressured to do their actual job. And everyone can see that. And it's because of people like this lady, who's not even a Democrat. These dudes consulting with the Democrats, telling them what to do as a Republican. And they're listening to her because they're stupid. And because they're fascist enablers.
People like Hasan
They're making their life harder.
Hold on. People like Hasan are making Democrats who want to take a stand against this war, right? And who want to probably take a stand against the way that Trump is just sort of like, doing whatever Bibi tells him.
They never take a stand. Like, I love how you're like, oh, he's making it harder for them to take a stand. How? They can take a stand if they want. They can take a stand if they want. What has Chuck Schumer done? He's come out and said, oh, I just don't like the way he's doing it. He didn't say he's against the war. He just doesn't like the way Trump is doing it. Right? Like, this is delusional. None of them are trying to fight back. Delusional.
They're trying to figure out how to do it in a way.
Well, some are. I mean, like Ro Khanna, AOC, there are people, right? But the people she's talking about, right? The Alyssa Slockins of the world, the Cory Bookers of the world, they're barely fighting back. They're barely saying anything. Cory Booker's on a book tour. He was just in St. Louis. I hate him so much. And we're going to get to his embarrassing moment in a second.
Way where they don't imperil the safety of Jewish people in this country. They're trying to do it in a way that is, they don't want to be anti-Semitic. And I'll tell you why Hasan is so dangerous, is that what it does is it's exactly what Trump does. It's exactly what Nick Fuentes does and Tucker does.
What?
It takes maybe legitimate rage about something, and then it gives them an enemy to put it on. It gives them an out group to blame for.
No, I feel like that's exactly what you're doing with leftists. Like, that's exactly what you're doing with leftists. This is what conservative Democrats or center-right Democrats or Democrats that are corporate Democrats, this is what they continue to do. Instead of, well, I mean, they're doing it to trans people too, right? They're saying this is the other. If we have to throw them under the bus, then like, fine, so be it, right? Instead of trying to accept people into this big tent that they say we have, and instead of trying to have intersectionality within this base, what they're saying is F you, if throwing you under the bus means that we can get some Republicans to vote for us, some white people in the suburbs to vote for us, then yeah, we'll throw you under the bus. And that's what people like Cory Booker do. That's what people like Alyssa Slotkin do. That is what they do, right? That is what they do. So this has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. This is everything to do with actually you doing that to the left, right? You doing that to the left because you understand that if leftists are starting to gain power, and you don't like that. You don't like that because you want to keep getting your consulting money, even though people are wasting their money talking to you because nobody's winning. Nobody's winning listening to you, lady. Like, what are you doing? Ridiculous. I think it's so stupid. And Hasan is, to me, not like Nick Fuentes, not like Tucker Carlson. And I talk about Tucker Carlson all the time. I think that he is dangerous. I think he's incredibly dangerous because the way he's talking and the way he's coming out, and he is doing this on purpose, right? Because I really do think he's going to try to run for president, and that terrifies me because he is a white nationalist. He can sit here and say all he wants and try to sound normal now, but he is a white nationalist and he's a Nepo baby, right? So in no way, shape, or form do I think that Tucker Carlson is a good actor, because what Tucker Carlson does is what she's saying, right? He traffics in anti-Semitism by trying to be not even pro-Palestine, but just being anti-war and against this. And something that Hasan does, and I think a lot of people do, and I think I try to do as well, is be like, no, it's not Jewish people are not the problem. This is not like, this is like, calling out Israel is not anti-Semitic, right? Calling out Zionists is not anti-Semitic. Zionism and Judaism are two separate things. They are two totally different things, and to meld them together, to act like they are the same thing, is actually anti-Semitic and is hurting the Jewish community. But because of people like her who are like, well, they want to be against the war, but they're just worried, and he's out here against the war, and he's no, they just don't have a backbone, right? They don't have a backbone, and they don't want to go against Benjamin Netanyahu. They don't want to go against Israel. They don't want to go against, I think some of them don't want to go against the Trump administration. And so it's like, no, they just need a backbone, and they don't have it, right? And so instead they use Hasan as an excuse to not say anything, even though the future's pretty clear, man. The future is pretty clear. And even in Texas, there was like a poll the other day that if that more people are willing to vote for the anti-Israel candidate than the pro-Israel candidate. So it's like the writing is on the wall for people like Cory Booker, right? The writing is on the wall, but they don't seem to want to face it. And they seem to want to scapegoat everybody else to get out of it. And next, I'm going to show you this video that everyone's been posting. This is from Ryan Grimm. So whenever Kamala Harris does something like price gouging, I'm like, boo, but also whatever. So that's what she says in this video. We're going to watch in a second. And to Sarah Longwell, former Republican political operative, boasting that her faction has made Democrats more hawkish, and the cost of that is once in a while having to hear something they don't like about corporate price gouging. It is one thing to be pro price gouging because you are a corporate lobbyist. I understand that, but try to pitch it as something that makes Democrats more electable is comical. And so like, this is what I'm saying. Like, she's over here cheering that the Democrats have become more hawkish and become neocons and want to go and do these wars. And, famously, Kamala Harris said we have to have like the most lethal military or whatever the hell. And honestly, the moment she said that, I knew she was going to lose. I was like, oh, that's it. That's it. We're done. It's done. It's done. It's over with. Yeah, this isn't happening, right? And I knew it because that's not what people want, right? Especially the Democratic Party. Like, that's not what people want. And so I just find it interesting that she's here giving the game away, right? Like, she's giving the game away. The reason that she doesn't like leftists, the reason she doesn't like people like Hasan Piker is because this is the Democratic Party she wants, right? She wants essentially a right-wing Democratic Party.
Speaking of Stonewall, but also I think it's amazing when you get 75,000 presumably libs on the ellipse, and she's like, we're going to have the most lethal fighting force. And people are like, yeah.
I was not. I screamed and I was so mad. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I was so mad when she said that. I was screaming in my apartment. I was like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? What possessed asked you to say that.
And she's like, and we're going to secure the border. And people are like, yeah. And
This is what I'm saying. This is what she wants. This is what she wants for the Democratic Party. Like, these are the people that the Democrats are listening to. These are the people that the corporate Democrats are listening to, right? And this is why they feel so threatened by people like Hasan, by people like Zoran, by people like Abdul Al-Sayed.
I was just like, this is, and she's, we are gonna be leaders in the world, and we're not gonna let these guys push us around. And I was like, man, the world's really changed.
Did the neocons just take over the Democratic Party?
Don't say that.
Yeah, don't
And
say
Tim
it.
Miller's like, don't say that. Like, he's the only one who has any goddamn sense, and I don't even like Tim Miller. I don't. But he's the only one that has some sense on this panel. She's just saying the quiet part out loud. She's just saying the quiet part out loud. Somebody else that has been going after Hasan is Cory Booker. This is why this has become a trend, and this is why everyone's talking about it online, because you have people like Cory Booker, you have people like lizashleee that came out and were like, I would never go on Hasan's show. Never would I go on Hasan's show. Clutching their pearls like I would never go on a show, even though they weren't invited, right? None of them were invited to his show. Anyway, so Cory Booker goes on Pod Save and they ask him this question, and Cory Booker is such a fraud. Like, it's so easy to see right through him now, and when I first started getting political, I did like him, and it's because he was against factory farming, right? I have since grown to really dislike him. Really not like him at all. Like, I would say I hate him, right? And I don't like him at all. He bothers the hell out of me. He drives me insane. And it's because of things like this. So his team came out and said, oh, I would never do a Hasan Piker show, right? And this is what he's saying on Pod Save America.
Through your office, you said, and it's just one person, but it's part of a large group of, I think, people that have this point of view, that you wouldn't, say, go on like Hasan Piker's stream because he's said some heinous and stupid shit in the past. But to me, I would expect you'd be like chomping at the bit to say, you know what, of course I'm going to go there because I want to represent this point of view in a place that doesn't normally hear it. And I want to talk.
Exactly. And that's the other thing. A lot of these Democrats, it's like, they'll go on, like Gavin Newsom. He'll sit over here and he'll talk to, he talked to Charlie Kirk. He talked to Steve Bannon, all these kind of things. And now you have people like, oh, but you can't go on Hasan Piker. You can't talk to Hasan Piker. And it's like, what is this double standard? Democrats just want Republicans to love them. Like, it's really weird. It's very strange. But it's true. It's true.
View that you wouldn't, say, go on like Hasan Piker's stream because he's said some heinous and stupid shit in the past. But to me, I would expect you'd be like chomping at the bit to say, you know what, of course I'm going to go there because I want to represent this point of view in a place that doesn't normally hear it. And I want to talk about the ways in which I think some of the things he said are offensive. The same way you might want to go confront somebody on Fox News, or you've met with, talk to Newt Gingrich, and he said crazy shit in the past too. So maybe part of the way out of this is for someone like you to go to those spaces, even if there have been things that are offensive to people.
Yeah. So first of all, somehow we're having a much more deeper and personal conversation than I thought. So I'm going to be very candid with you.
That's how you know he's a fraud, right? And we're going to watch an iHip video that I just love, that I'm so obsessed with. But this is so funny to me because he's like, oh, I didn't expect us to have such a deep conversation. Is it deep? Is it a deep conversation? Is that a deep conversation, or is he just asking you a question? Is he asking you a question because of what your office said? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, these politicians on every side are just so used to going on these mainstream news networks and never being criticized and never being pushed back on, and just, the newscasters tend to placate them, right, and just go along to get along, and they don't really push back, and they're so used to that. When someone asks them a real question, they're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting this. You weren't? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Gotcha.
Got me, but in a very good way.
Such a gotcha. It's not. It's a normal question.
I just want to talk to you about deep things.
No, I appreciate that. And
it's not even that deep.
That's why I appreciate you, frankly.
He's a Democratic politician who I bet you anything wants to run for president again. He's not going to get it, but I bet you anything he wants to run for president again. This is a normal ass question. What podcast are you willing to go to, and why is your office saying shit like this? How is that a deep question? How is that an abnormal question? I don't understand. And that, like, what do you mean? And that's how you know they probably told him not to ask it, but he asked it anyway. Because Cory Booker's like, oh, I didn't realize we were gonna talk about this. Dude, it's a normal question. They're asking you about something your office said. I don't understand why you're confused.
Oh, here's the candor. I had no idea who this person was until a few days ago. I never heard their.
So dumb. So then he says, I have no idea who this person was. So his office literally went against Hasan Piker, said all this stuff about Hasan Piker, and then I didn't even know who he was. I just went along with lizashleee. I just went along with the other corporate Dems because it's what they told me to do. Ridiculous. And Cory Booker should be embarrassed. And honestly, he deserves this. So the I've Had It lady spilled some tea the other day, which is just glorious. And it was about Cory Booker, and it was about when they had Cory Booker on their show. And I remember this because I remember Jen kind of pushing him, and it went viral because he wasn't expecting to get that deep, I guess. Crazy. But let's hear what they have to say, because it is truly enlightening, to be very honest.
Remember, I had that viral moment with Senator Cory Booker last year regarding this issue. And now he's gone on pod say.
I always want to talk to you about deep things.
No, I appreciate that.
Okay. Stop it right there. So when I saw this clip, this struck me. Number one, the first thing that strikes me is that Cory Booker will take a photograph with Benjamin Netanyahu in the middle of a genocide, but draws the line with going on Hasan Piker's Twitch. But the second thing that struck me there was when Cory Booker said, oh, this conversation is much deeper than I had thought. And I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. When we filmed with Cory Booker, after Kamala lost, all of the Democrats came to us. We want to be on your pod. We want to be on your pod. And we're like, great. Yeah, you can be on our pod. I don't have a corporate news background, so I ask questions that I think are relevant. And some Democratic politicians come on and they don't want to know what they're talking about, and they don't care. They just want to talk about the country and whatever questions I have for them. Others are a lot more scripted and controlled. And Cory Booker's office, it's in our producers. Cory wants to talk about XYZ. And I saw those talking points, but right out of the gates, I asked him, what have you had it with? And he said, I've had it with corporate money. And I was just like, bitch, please, you take like millions of dollars in AIPAC money. So it led down that.
I love them so much. And it's so true. It's like his answer is the reason they got to where they are, and they're like, oh my God, we didn't mean to get on this conversation. Oh no. But it's like, okay, then don't say you don't want corporate PAC money, even though you take it. What are you saying?
That rabbit hole, right? Because I was like, wait, this seems hypocritical. And instead of staying on the script that his office sent me, I went with his answer as a normal conversation should. Well, the whole time I'm asking about Benjamin Netanyahu, his office is stage 5 melting down, texting our producers, trying to get her to like, hey, we didn't agree to talk about this, blah, blah.
I think this shows so much. And I think it shows, like I was saying earlier, that all of these politicians are so used to going on mainstream news networks. They're so used to going on mainstream news networks and never getting pushback and always just being placated. And that is what it's been for everyone in this government for the longest time, except for really leftists, right? Except for Zoran. For so long, they could just go wherever they want and everyone would just listen to them, take their word for it, not push back. Because mainstream media are also fascist collaborators. But it's just so wild because it's similar to when Lizashleee went on Breaking Points. And it's like they really don't think that they're going to get pushback. They really don't think they're going to have to explain themselves. They really don't think that they're going to have specific policies that they champion. They just really don't think that. And it's wild that they've been allowed to go so long without any accountability. We need to have higher standards because we do. Because a lot of these people like Cory Booker need to have some accountability for their actions. You want to be president, but you can't talk about why you will or won't go on a podcast? That's too deep for you? How are you going to handle everything else? If you can't answer a question about why you won't go on a podcast, that's too deep, then like, what are you doing? A lot of this rhetoric is coming from Third Way, which is a corporate Dem establishment think tank. And it's funny because the mainstream news is like, oh, this left-leaning think tank. And if we were in Europe and if we were in many other countries, like our Democrats are considered conservative, right? You look around the world and you look at what is left-leaning and you look at what is leftist and what is progressive and what's considered on the left, and the Democrats, like the establishment Democrats, are always to the right of that. Democrats have sold out so much that just not being fascist, even though they're fascist enablers, gives them a leg up, which honestly should not be something that they're proud of. This is what Third Way sent to Abdul Al-Sayed, and it's crazy because that's what started a lot of this, right? Because this think tank was like, we have to be against Hasan Piker. Now Cory Booker, now, lizashleee, all these people have to come out and be like, I condemn Hasan Piker. And they really just want Al-Sayed to do it, and he's not going to, right? Third Way, which has argued that Democrats must reject the pledges, is sending a questionnaire letter to a Senate candidate asking him to disavow statements made by a streamer, which is so unserious and so stupid. Do you think the right wing is like, oh no, better not go on Nick Fuentes? He literally had dinner with the president. Like, what are we saying? This is so ridiculous. Like, Democrats, I'm convinced that corporate Democrats want to lose. Like, I'm convinced. Like, they have all of the upper hand in the world, and they still have one of the lowest approval ratings because they suck. Dear Dr. El-Sayed, your plan to campaign with Hasan Piker during stops next month at the University of Michigan and Michigan State is a mistake. We argued in the Wall Street Journal recently that Democrats should seek to push Piker to the fringe where he belongs. We urge you to heed this advice. I love that they're sending it to him because it's so funny. It's like, we want you to be like Mallory McMorrow. You already have a Mallory McMorrow in the race. Then go talk to her. Go help her. Why are you telling someone who is running, who you probably wouldn't accept in the Democratic Party? You won't accept them in the Big Ten. Even if he wasn't meeting with Hasan Piker, even if he wasn't campaigning with Hasan Piker, you probably still wouldn't like him. Third Way still probably wouldn't endorse him or want him in the party. And so why are you doing this? You're doing this because you think that him doing this with Hasan is going to help him win, and you don't want him to win. You don't want him to win because if progressives keep winning or start winning or gain more power, then even though it's already pretty clear and transparent that the Democrats don't care and don't want to do anything and want to just go on as life as it is and don't really care to change anything, it's pretty clear right now. But the more we get progressives in office, the more we have people like Zoran in office who are actually doing things, it's going to be even more transparent that people like lizashleee and Cory Booker and Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are purposely not doing some of these things, are purposely enabling fascism, and are purposely going along with this because they want to get a check, because they want the power. And so that's what's happening. And so that's why they're doing this. Ridiculous to send this letter to him. Ridiculous. And then they're just like, do you agree with Hasan Piker? Do you think da-da-da? Like, who even are you? who even are you to sit here and try to tell someone who's running for Senate what they can and can't do and who they can and can't be with? Who are you? Ridiculous. It's just so stupid. The GOP is now getting in on this, right? So it's not just the Democrats, it's also now Republicans. And if you are someone who doesn't like Hasan Piker, like, just look at this. This is only helping Republicans, okay? This is only helping Republicans, right? This is not helping Democrats. I also think it's only helping progressives. So, like, you know, they could continue doing this if they want, because now more people know who Hasan is and more people know who Abdul al-Sayed is. But, you know, it's like the Streisand effect. They keep talking about it, so now everyone knows about them. So I'm not saying it's like a horrible thing, you know, but it's like they are essentially like trying to help the Republicans because they're not helping themselves. And so he is making it harder for Democrats because they're actually going to have to earn their keep for once in their lives if they want to continue to be in office. But this is what he said. So the GOP said Democrats Summer Lee and Abdul al-Sayed are campaigning alongside Hasan Piker, who claims America deserved 9/11 and called Islamic terrorists brave. Bill Maher has said even crazier stuff. Not even just like Bill Maher. Republicans, like, I feel like I have to keep reiterating this. Republicans have said the most outrageous, insane, racist shit. You have the president out here being like, oh, we're going after Iran because they're horrible people, they're monsters. What? The guy in FEMA said he was transported to a Waffle House. Like, what are we doing? What do you mean? Like, this is why this is so stupid and so ridiculous, because you have the GOP out here literally saying the most insane shit. You got the girl, the religious lady who's like Trump's spiritual advisor or whatever, comparing him to God, comparing him to Jesus, right? That is what they're out here doing. That is what they're out here doing. And you're like, oh, Hasan Piker. What? What? Laura Loomer is advising the president, and she says some of the most unhinged, racist, Islamophobic things every day. What do you mean? Like, this is what I mean. Like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. They always, like, centrists always want to scream purity politics when we're like, hey, maybe don't support a genocide. They're like, oh, purity politics. We can't do purity politics. We need to have a big tent. But then when it comes to Hasan, they're like, yeah, see, we don't like this one thing you said years ago. So now we're going to bring it back up to discredit you because you're more popular than us. Ridiculous. And then they're letting the GOP get in on it, and it's like, who were they to talk? They say crazy shit every day, and it's become so normalized. They say crazy shit every day, and it's become so normalized, and you have Democrats still out here nitpicking everybody. What do you mean? Okay, anyway, this is what Dr. Abdul al-Sayed said. And your boy Trump spends more time talking about his ballroom drapes than the war he started that's killing our service members, spiking our gas prices, and lighting our tax dollars on fire. So, exactly. Like, all of you are talking about Hasan when literally Trump has done like nuclear threats to Iran, when literally the Strait of Hormuz is closed and we're gonna have to start, like, other countries are starting to ration energy. So, like, excuse me if I don't think the Democrats should be sitting here fighting Hasan. Excuse me if I think that they have bigger battles to fight that they obviously don't want to fight, and so they're just gonna fight Hasan instead. And this is what Wash said. I love Wash. I love him so much. He's the best. This is what Wash said. Dear Blue and On cult members. Starting off with a banger. Okay, he said, Dear Blue and On cult members and Democratic Party lifers, just so you know, I asked everyone to vote for the Dem against Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Check the receipts. It's all there. Millions of Dems stayed home in 2024. The party's favorability rating is in the dumpster. Exactly. They're winning because people hate Trump. I've never met nor talked to Piker, but the attack on him is clearly instigated by pro-Israel and pro-billionaire hacks. Exactly. Exactly, because they don't like what he stands for. The people in power right now, the establishment Democrats, don't want to relinquish that power. And Crystal Ball said, I'm not sure I can take another week of people who support genocide pretending that Hasan the Hun, one of the most effective critics of that genocide, is the evil one. Exactly. Thank you, Crystal. This is also what Wash said. So he said, agreed, but only Hasan Piker and Abdul Al-Sayed have been consistently attacked for the past 2 weeks. The tent is not big enough for them, but always open for Bill Maher and anyone who supports Israel and the genocide in Gaza. No one is blind to this. Exactly. And it's not blind to me that all the people that they seem to not want in the big tent just happen to be Muslim. I mean, it's not just them, but like the people they're deciding to go after is definitely a choice, right? This is what Mehdi Hasan said. So Mehdi said Democratic senators Cory Booker, Ruben Gallego, Alyssa Slotkin, all told Politico they wouldn't go on Hasan Piker's show. But they have all been on Bill Maher's show, who says Islam is like the mafia. The Muslim world has too much in common with ISIS, and Muslims bring desert stuff to the West, and has also used the N-word on his show. Why the double standard? Slotkin was on Maher's show yesterday. Yeah, exactly. Bill Maher is one of those people who is extremely Islamophobic, right? It is interesting that Islamophobia to them is fine. That's not worth saying, oh, I'm not going to go on that person's podcast. No. That's fine. The minute you're against billionaires, the minute you criticize Democrats, the minute you're anti-genocide, oh, can't go on the podcast. Yeah, you can see right through it. So I actually, as I'm recording this, so we'll see if this happens by next week. But this is something that Donald Trump just posted. He said, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. And this is about his threats on Iran. And he posted this on True Social. Again, I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We'll find out tonight, and one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran after you just said you were going to murder them all. And so Hasan said Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. Totally agree. But then he also said, Democrats, you got something to say about this strong language? Or should we have the 15th Hasan hates Israel in America, we can't have him at our events convo? Exactly. Just cherry on top. Exactly. Thank you so much for watching. Please tell me what you think below. This is all very crazy and it really frustrates me. As you can see, this is probably going to be a long video because it's something that frustrates me so much. Because Democrats have nothing to say to Donald Trump, or barely anything to say to Donald Trump, and yet they're like, oh no, we can't talk to Hasan, while like Donald Trump is threatening a nuclear war. But yeah, sure. This is what's most important to them. And I guess by the time this video comes out, we'll know what he did. I wonder what he did. You guys are still here? Okay, I mean, I guess we have some stuff to get caught up on. So, there wasn't a nuclear war. That's good, I guess. But now the ceasefire is not really happening anymore. So, you know, so much can happen in just like a week. Anyway, that's not the only update. The other update is that, you know, everyone's collectively said that Hasan won this little corporate Democrats to leftist debate or what have you. I don't know what they're doing. Ezra Klein came out the other day and had a article about how Hasan is not the enemy, and he was defending Hasan, which blew my mind because I was not expecting Ezra Klein to be the person to defend Hasan. And so it was a nice surprise. Never thought I'd agree with Ezra Klein on anything, but yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on. That's it. Anyway, bye.